Hey guys, morning. Welcome to the Academy Answers podcast. And the more I think about this series, first of all, thank you for joining me. Always a pleasure. The more I think about this series, 20 for 20, the more excited I get, the more research I'm doing, the more analysis I'm doing, the deeper I'm thinking about it. I'm spending so much time investing energy, just digging deeper into the concepts that can make you better this year. And if you're just joining me, this is the Academy Answers podcast. If you're hearing me for the first time, it is a podcast where we talk about happiness, freedom, full potential. We believe that we all are created with something that we can leverage. There's a vehicle in all of us that will truly make us happy and at the same time provide us the economic and social stability to pursue this happiness and to take us to that destination that we all have in our hearts, the desires that we have, the desire for expression, desire to be free to do what we want to do when we want to do it, with who we want to do it, the desire to be happy and the desire to create an impact in the world. And it is about living a rich life, not only rich with money, because we're not taking money out of the equation at all, because we're not insecure about money, because that's one of the problems why we don't strive to full potential, and we're all about full potential. So yesterday I got a question about, what will help me in 2020. And I decided right on the spot, out of nowhere, that I would do 20 concepts for 2020 that is really gonna help us not only begin but go through the process and also finish 2020. Because as I was saying to one customer yesterday, that it is the loss of the emotion after January 15 that caused everybody one of the reasons that caused everybody to retreat to the old self, to get back into the norm. And that's exactly what's holding us back. So yesterday we reviewed a concept. You can find the episode. I'm going to start to number these episodes, because then I'm probably it's hard to make reference to it. So yesterday we talked about we're beginning the series, and we spoke about the input that's one of the main ingredients that's going to help you is coming up with better decisions, coming up with better judgment. And how do you have better judgment and make better choices and decisions? And we explore the two wolves story of the two wolves that talks about the one you feed, the input that you put into your mind and your body to make yourself physically and mentally capable and ready to do things. That's a big deal. How do you get yourself, your mind and your body in the shape to actually execute? And we talk about how you have to feed your mind, and that there are two wolves inside of everybody. And one is just a regular old I don't want to do it, procrastinating, the self that you want to get rid of. And the other one is the self that has unlimited and untapped potential. And we're saying that the only way the one that will win, these wolves are constantly fighting each other, but the one that will win is the one that you feed. The one that you feed becomes stronger, it becomes more aware, and that power that it gets from being fed will help it ultimately to become better. So we spoke about that yesterday. So today, the next thing, the next concept is the second thing that will help you. And this one is so common. People have spoken about it so much, but it is true. A lot of things that are cliche, a lot of things that you see people repeating every time, it's for a reason. It's people are not just saying it and keep saying it. These are principles. When you find them coming down from before Christ, these are real principles that have been tried, tested, and proven. Don't be so skeptical. So the next thing is, and I'll tell you a story. So I to kind of illustrate and ventilate the point better. I grew up not loving cartoons as a kid. That's weird. I wasn't like solid on any cartoon, gung-ho about it, all over it, wanting to watch it every time. I did watch cartoons. I'm not saying I didn't watch it. I did watch cartoons, but when you speak to the average person about cartoon now, the average adult, the way they get excited about it and the way they tell you that they used to love it, I am not that way. I wasn't that way. And then 4 years ago, my first child was born. I have one child. So my son was born 4 years ago. And then obviously there's a lot of children stuff, cartoons, all these things playing in the house. Now I am exposed to numerous cartoons, nursery rhymes, children and kids stuff on TV, on his iPad, everywhere, on my phone, all over. And they're playing all the time in the house, and they're, I love music. So, most times I'm singing something, I'm listening to something. And those times when you're by yourself, or you're just a bit bored, or you're just doing something and you feel like singing something, that happens to everybody. I find myself singing the cartoon songs, the nursery rhymes. I'm singing along. These things are pop into my head. I have the verses, I have the lines, I have a couple of the moves too. And it is weird. I have never actually stopped to listen to them. They're just playing. And it brings me to the point that I want to discuss. Your environment actually gets to you. It gets into your consciousness. You cannot block your environment. That the brain, researchers have shown, some research that came out maybe a decade ago, that the average human being is exposed to 66,000 messages per day. All the different things that are around you, the road signs, the commercial, the TV ads, everything, the billboards, all these messages are around you. They have to be filtered out, but they do get into your subconscious mind. That's why meditation is so important, because meditation tends to wind you down, the brain down, from all those messages. It's happening in the background. There's a research also done some years ago, and this is a true research. There was a test group, a couple of test groups, where some messages were being played below a certain decibel level where a person was supposed to hear, normally would have heard. So there's a music being played, and then there were certain messages that were being played in the music at a very low decibel level, like the levels that you would normally not decipher. And it was played for a period of time, a set period of time, with the music, and this group was made to listen to the music. It so happened that after a couple of weeks, these people had no way of knowing this information, and they were quizzed on the information that was played in the music below a decibel level that they were comfortable hearing. And it so turned out that a great percentage of those people, a notable percentage of these people, actually got the information. The subconscious mind picked up on that information that wasn't at normal decibel levels that someone would hear. So your environment has a lot to do with you. So what you now have to do, what you want to do if you want to move forward, if you want to win, you have to be mindful of your environment. Your environment has to be optimized for you to win. You have people who, like, we have the thing, you go into people's home homes and see is the news constantly playing of negativity, people killing people, robberies, murders, shooting, propaganda, controversies, you name it. And there is, people feed themselves a steady diet of this negative crap, this draining, energy sucking thing. And you cannot explain to them what it is doing to them subconsciously. And when these things affect the brain and the mind subconsciously, what happen is that the brain create chemical reactions in the body. That's how it is. Like, that's science. And a lot of people try to say, oh, I don't believe in science, or that's mumbo jumbo, but you know, we all do. And if you're selective in the things you believe as when it comes on to science, then that's pretty much not an intelligent view. In other words, if you believe that your head is hurting you too much, so you're going to go to the doctor, and the doctor does something to check what's going on in your body and check your vital statistics and all that stuff, and then they go on to prescribe something for you and you take that medication, then you believe in science. Though if I'm telling you that the chemical reactions that happen in your body when you get certain messages, the brain creates certain chemicals and release it into the bloodstream, and it affects your mood and it affects your diet and it affects your health, and you don't want to believe that, then that's not intelligent, because it is the same science that took you to the doctor and have you taking the meds. So let's just get that out of the way. So I'm saying that when you're hearing all these messages, there is chemicals are being released into the bloodstream that causes the body to react or behave a certain way. So when you feed yourself all this negative information about what is happening out there, the news from China, and the news from Russia, and the news from the Middle East, and the news from Australia, and the news from Antarctica, and the news from Brazil, and all these negative things piled onto your consciousness, and then your body start to get get into those toxic states that is caused by the enzymes that your brain release, then how are you going to do better? How are you going to have the energy? How are you going to have the clarity? How are you going to have the focus to do what you're supposed to do, to focus on your life, the important things in your life? Look, you're not, the human beings were not designed to collect all this negative data. You have got to put yourself in an environment that is optimized to serve you and not to work against you. All the people that are dying and all people that are being robbed and everything else that is happening out there is not for you to consume over and over and over and over and over and over. So what you have to do, you have to look at your environment. Your environment including the people you surround yourself with. So when I say environment, I mean the people and the messages. There's this thing I'll say again. There's this cliche that's there, and it might be cliche, but it's facts. You are the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. You're the average of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. There's a concept called mirror imaging. That's why people go to conferences. That's why people hang in a certain pack. You check out average policeman who hangs out with policemen. They have policeman result. You check out a nurse. You check a lawyer. These people have similar results and similar life. Most of the people you work with, you all have similar lives. Cars, things in the house, devices, whatever, magazines, lunch kits, cups. Your life fits into that box. And you may be underestimating what goes on in there, but that's exactly what's happening because you're not looking at it deeper. You think, oh yeah, I have this cup and my coworker have this cup too, and yeah, you know, the guy downstairs has this bag, and yeah, I just got a thing like that, because that's what you surround yourself with. So in a broader scale, the income levels start to become the same, the skill levels start to become the same, and most dangerously, the way of thinking start to become the same. So I can't, there's no better, that's just how it is, I don't have the time, I am tired, I'm feeling sick, I don't think that will work. All that sort of thinking. You go into any group and you pick a couple of people and you watch who they run with and you ask them about it and you quiz them on how they think, and it will be the same. It will be the very same. Because that's what happened. You become what you think about and what you hear and what you're around daily. That's what you become. And you have some people, oh, well, I don't hang with people. I just go to work and come home and do my own thing. And I'm not a people person. I don't have friends and stuff. Well, you still are affected by your environment. If they're not people, you're the average of the 5 ideas that you surround yourself with. So if you're on the government and politics and Trump and the sports and the next game and the Netflix stuff and the whole overtime that you're going to get to buy this stuff and the shopping, yeah, well, you're the average. That's what you'll get, the results that these type of people get. It's as simple as that. And if you break it down, if you check these things, the basics, that's what you're going to get. That's what happened with these things. People become what they surround themselves with all the time. So you have to now look at your environment and the people who you are surrounding yourself with. What messages are you listening to? What are you watching? What are you listening? What are your friends talking about? What are your friends doing with their lives? How are they thinking about stuff? What are they passionate about? Where do they go? What do they do with their money? What do they do with their time? The 5 people you're most often around and with, what are they doing? That is what's going to open up for you to show you what's happening or what's going to happen with your life. Hands down. I'm not asking you. The ideas are the people that you surround yourself with is the second big plan, the second big thing to identify and to note and to resonate with this year in 2020. You must be careful of your environment and what is going into your mind. If you're scrolling all day on social and you're getting the adrenaline and the dopamine rush, and then you get off and you feel groggy and you feel down and you feel boring and empty, is because the dopamine levels fall in the body, and you scroll again to get the next fix, and your focus is being spoiled, and you're riding these dopamine waves, and you're becoming addictive, and you're losing clarity, you're losing discipline, and you're losing focus. You're not going to win. I just say it just as straight as that. You're not going to win doing that. So you have to now ask yourself, what is it that I want for my life? Simple question. This is the solution. What is it that I want for my life? Who do I want to be? What do I want my relationship to be like? What do I want my finances to be like? What do I want my social life to be like? What do I want my health to be like? These questions, ask this question, and then you say, the people who have these results, what are their environments like, and how do I create that environment for myself? Tony Robbins always say this, and he's a guy who dropped really good bombs. No wonder he's one of the greatest in this era. He said that getting to where you want to get to is not a complicated thing. All you have to do is find someone with the results, who have the results you want, and model that. Simple as that. What do they do in the mornings? What do they eat? How was their lifestyle? What do they invest in? What type of business? How do they think? How do they market? How do they work? What are their belief systems like? And you model that. And you're not trying to reinvent the wheel and trying to learn some novel personal way. As Mohammed says, and I've used it so often, is that it takes a man about 75 years to learn how to live, and by that time, on his own, and by that time, he is almost dead. So you have to now model someone, stand on someone's shoulder, and you don't have to make the mistakes that someone who has done what you want to do have made. You can take your own life into your own hands and learn and grow. Thank you. Have a wonderful morning. Always a pleasure. Noone Motivator Car. Find me on social as we go into this series. I'm excited about it. This is my second day of my 20 for 20. We will discuss 20 real solid concepts that you must observe if you want to win in 2020. Thank you so much.